Okay, so in the first chapter, as I told you, we don't only have the alphabet, but we also have the different sounds. This chapter completely shows us the basic sound of Portuguese language. So today we will focus a little bit on the rules of pronunciation. Okay. Let us just understand the rules of pronunciation. So when we talk about rules, as I told you, there are different combinations of different letters which will give away different sounds. So the first one we will read with the letter C, or what we call say in Portuguese. Okay. So the letter C, when it comes with CE or CI, that is this letter, when it will come with the combination of CE or CI, then it will give the sound of so. Whereas if it comes with the rest of the three vowels, that is CA, CO, or CU, then it will give the sound of k. Let's see some examples. For example, we read with the letter C, we read say the certo, say the certo, or say de certo. In that case, you can see that the C is coming with E, or the letter say is coming with the letter A. C-A-R-T-U. Certo. Mais exemplos, more examples. Por exemplo, certeza. Certeza is certainty. Certeza, certainty. Okay. So these kind of words which has the letter CE or CI, they will give a sound of sir. Whereas the combination of CA, CO, and CU will give the sound of k. For example, very common word, casa. Casa. Anybody knows this word from before?
Yeah, house.
House. Right. Casa means house. Similarly, let's take the word comida. Anyone knows this? Comida?
Food.
Food. Yes. Food. Cujo. 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 It's a connector word basically. Cujo means in case. So casa, comida, cujo. All these words you can see they are having the combination of CA, CO, or CU, which gives the sound of k. We can never read this word as saza. It will always be kaza. So let us look at more examples like this in this combination. So first we will look at examples of CE or CI. Like we get certo. What is the meaning of certo?
Correct.
Correct. Yes. Certo means correct. Similarly, we have the word cedo. Cedo means early. Then, for example, cena. Cena means a scene. It has two meanings actually. Cena can mean a scene or it can also mean a dinner. It has two meanings. Cena. It can mean dinner also. For example, the word receber, to receive. So it is not necessary that the CE has to come in the beginning of the word. Even if it comes in the middle of the word, then also the sound remains so. Receber, to receive. Similarly, celular, your cell phone, mobile phone, cellular. Then let's look at some words with CI, like cidade or cidade. In European, we will say cidade, whereas in Brazilian, we'll say cidade. The DE at the end gives a very different sound in Brazilian and in European. So I'll repeat that. In European, we don't extend the words at the end, especially when it ends with the letter E. We tend to cut it out. So we say cidade, cidade. Whereas in Brazilian, it is cidade, cidade, cidade. Cidade or cidade means city. So we have a lot of words with CI, like the word cinco. Cinco. Here, let's focus on the first two letters, that is CI. Here, the sound is C, whereas where we have CO, the sound is K. Same letter with two different sounds. First, it is giving out the sound of S, and later it's giving out the sound of K. Okay. So, cinco means five, the number five. Then let's say cinema. Cinema is mostly the movie theater. Okay. It's not film, it is movie theater, cinema. Then Sima. Sima means top. So there are a lot of examples like this where you can see with the combination of CE or CI, the sound is so. Now let's look at the combination of CA, CO or CU. Again, there are a lot of words with this combination. Let's start with CA. For example, Gaza, Kaju. Kaju is the cashew that we know. Kashohu. Kashohu means a dog. Okay. Kashohu. Cafe, coffee. Caderno, caderno, notebook. Let's see a verb, cantar, to sing. So the words that we are doing are very, very commonly used words. Okay, these are very basic vocabulary. So casa is house, kaju is हिंदी में जिसे हम काजू कहते हैं, cashew. Okay. Kashohu, kashohu. Double R gives the sound of h. Kashohu. Or in European Portuguese, sometimes we can also call it as cachorro, cachorro, r, cachorro, tongue roll. So in Brazilian, we'll call it cachorro. In European, we'll call it cachorro, dog. Then we have café, coffee, caderno, notebook, and cantar. Cantar is a verb to sing. Then let's see some words with CO. So we started with the word comida. Comida means food. Then the verb of it is comer, to eat. Then we have a lot of words like copo. Copo means a glass. A glass not as in शीशा वाला glass नहीं, जिस glass से हम पानी पीते हैं, that glass. Copo. Then we have cor. Cor means color. Let's take a word very commonly used in the computer. Código. Código is a code. Okay. Código. Conta. Very commonly used. Account. Conta. Let's see words with CU. First word is cumprimentos. Cumprimentos. These are greetings. The words we use like hello, hi, how are you, good morning, good afternoon, obrigada, hola. All these words are cumprimentos. Greetings. Cultura. Culture. So you can see we are doing a lot of new words. You need to use these words, you need to keep these words somewhere so that you can, look at them again and again. Otherwise, you'll not remember them. These are all basic vocabulary. Whatever word we are doing in the class, that means it is there in your A1 level. When you are done with your A1 level means you should remember all the words that we have discussed in the class. So right from the beginning, be very serious about the vocabulary. Maintain a separate notebook, and first thing is consistency, that you maintain that every day in every class. Even when you're doing homework, you might come across new words. And second thing is you have to keep revising them. Whatever new words you note in them, you have to keep revising. So I cannot stress this enough. This will, this is a game changer. Whether you do it or you don't do it, that will show very clearly at the end of the A1 level. Somebody who has done it will have a very good vocabulary, and that will show in your language, guys. When you make sentences, when you speak, it will show very beautifully if you have a good vocabulary. Whereas if you lack vocabulary, then you will not be confident in speaking or making sentences, and it will affect you, it will keep affecting you in the further levels as well. You will lose your confidence day by day. So that's why please take this very seriously, vocabulary part. So we did cultura, then let's say culpa. Culpa is fault. Okay. Culpa means fault. And let's learn another word with this. That is desculpa. Do you know the meaning of this, anyone? Desculpa.
Excusing yourself.
Excuse me.
Kind of. It actually means sorry. Sorry or excuse really means excuse. Me desculpa. Excuse. So yeah, this is the collection of CECI and CACOCU. I'll quickly take a screenshot of this, put it in the group. So if anybody has missed it, you can note it down from the group as well. So we have the 5 vowels in English. We have the same vowels in Portuguese. Okay, just that the sound is different. So in English we call them A, E, I, O, U, and in Portuguese they are A, E, O, U. These are the 5 vowels in Portuguese. So anyone knows what is vowels? How do we differentiate between vowels and consonants? What exactly is it? Why did we have to categorize our alphabet into vowels and consonants? What is the logic behind it? Yes, Ashish? Ashish, you're on mute.
Ma'am, maybe something related with the how we pronounce how these group of letters and the way it is different from those consonants, other consonants.
Definitely it is related to pronunciation. But can we get deeper into it, and what exactly about the pronunciation? We are on the correct line, correct direction, that it is about the pronunciation. हिंदी में भी हम कहते हैं कुछ स्वर होते हैं, कुछ व्यंजन होते हैं. Yes, Rashmi?
मैम आई एम नॉट श्योर बट आई थिंक हम लोग जब वोवल्स प्रोनाउंस करते हैं तो वी ओपन आवर माउथ मतलब कि थोड़ा आ ई ओ ऐसे करके राइट.
Right. Yes, that is very close to the correct answer. I mean, yeah. So see, when we pronounce vowels, then you don't need to close your mouth. Your mouth, first of all, is open, and there is no roll of the tongue. There's no roll of the tongue when you
Tongue
pronounce it.
or teeth, yeah.
Sorry, Rashmi?
Tongue or teeth, right? Like you say आ ई and when we say कॉन्स्टेंट वाले जब हम लोग वर्ड्स प्रोनाउंस करते हैं तो मतलब क्या टीथ एंड वी टच आवर लिप्स आल्सो, वी टच आवर टीथ एंड आवर टंग.
Exactly. So if I cut out your tongue, then all the sounds that you will be able to make are all vowels. Okay. And if you have to use your tongue, the moment you're using your tongue or closing your mouth, your lips are touching with each other, or you are bringing your tongue to the teeth. So whatever parts of our mouth we have, we are using them. We are either closing our mouth, we are using our tongue to touch different parts of the mouth. That is how we pronounce words, like we pronounce them with the tongue. So wherever we need our tongue or wherever we close our mouth, the moment we're doing that, we are pronouncing a consonant. For the vowels, we don't need the tongue or we never close our mouth. So whatever you can pronounce without the roll of the tongue and without closing your mouth, all of them are vowels. And whatever you have to pronounce using the tongue or by closing your mouth, all of them are consonants. And that applies in every language. And we cannot make any, I mean, we can have some sounds with vowels, but with consonants alone, we cannot make any word or any sound basically. Because if I, write a word like this, if I write a word like this, you will not be able to pronounce it because there are no vowels in the word. So that is the role of the vowels. It will come after the consonants to give it a direction, to give it a proper sound. Because this letter has a sound. It says s or k. It has a sound. But unless I add something to it, it will not make a proper, word or even a part of the word. So that is the difference between consonant and vowel. So we have 5 vowels in Portuguese, which we called vogais. Okay. So temos 5 vogais. Temos 5 vogais. Elas são A, E, I, O, U. So most of the rules that we are going to read has to be related to the vowels. So now rules of the letter C. First we have the letter C. First rule says that when C comes before either E or I, it is pronounced as sa, as in say. We already saw that. Example, we have the word seu. Seu. The word seu means sky. Second rule says when the letter C comes before A, O or U, that is A, O or U, it is pronounced as K, as in capital. Example, cachorro. What was the meaning of cachorro?
Dog.
Yes. Then we have a third rule. हमने तो 2 ही rule पढ़ा था, but there is a third rule as well. When C comes with the accent, okay? So there is an accent that comes only with the letter C. So we write a C like this, and then we write a comma like this under the letter C. What is the role of this accent? For example, when we say CA, the sound should be ka. But if I want to say sa, then what will I write? Then I will use CA and then I'll put an accent under C. Then it will become sa. So whatever combinations actually give out the sound of k, for example, CA or CO or CU, whatever gives out the sound of k, if we can add an accent under C in all these combinations, then all of them become sa. So this accent, which looks like a comma, comes under the letter C, is called cedilha. 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 This is the name of the accent. So when we have accent to cedilha under the letter C with any combination, The sound will remain so. It will not change. Look at this word, comunicação. Comunicação. So first we have co, then we have ka, but then again we have the same combination ca, but we have the accent under the letter c. That's why it becomes so. And there's another thing here, we have an accent on top of a also. We have this wave-like accent on top of a, which denotes a nasal sound, which represents a nasal sound. So that is a. Instead of simply saying a, we'll say a. So this word becomes comunicação. Comunicação. So wherever we have the Cedilia accent, there the CA becomes sa. It should be ka, but since we have the accent, it becomes sa. So let us see some examples like this. Estação. Estação means season. It can also mean station. It has two meanings, okay? Estação can mean season. It can also mean station. For example, coração. Coração means heart. Coração. I want you to keep noting these words. So we did 3 words till now: comunicação, estação, and coração. Nação. Nação means nation. Nation. Nação. When you're noting the words, make sure you put the correct accents. So if I make plural of any of these words, like if I take this word, estação, season, and I want to make plural of this, then I will make estações. Estações. So here you can see that the letter C is coming with the combination of O, but still the sound is so because we have an accent. Estações. So please note down all these examples, then we'll move on.
Ma'am, can you please spell hard one like Cora? I didn't get that. Coração.
Coração.
Coração. Okay.
All the words once again. Season is estação. Estação. Heart is coração. Coração. Nation. Nação. Nação. Communication. Comunicação. Comunicação. There's one more trick I'd like to share with you. Most of the words that end in shan in English, Tion, shan, they end in são in Portuguese. For example, function becomes função. Education becomes educação. Nomination becomes nominação. So there are many words like this which end in shan in English and they become são in Portuguese. Just like we have the word nation, nação. Communication becomes comunicação. Station becomes estação. Like this, most of the words that end in shan, they give out the sound of são in Portuguese. So these are the 3 rules of the letter C. Anybody has any confusions in this till now? I think all of you, as a batch, have very less doubts. I get more questions in other batches. So it would not be so bad if you could ask some questions. Okay. Let's move on to the letter G. Unfortunately, it's not there in your book, but let's discuss the letter G. So the letter G, as you know, we can call it J or G. Both the sounds are correct. J or G. And just like the letter C, we have different sounds for the first two vowels, that is E and I. For E and I, we call it J. GE and GI, the sound is J. Whereas GA, GO, and GU, the sound is G. So let's see some examples. First word geral or geral. So in Brazilian, we'll say geral. In European, we'll say geral. Means general. Gent means people. So you can say gente in European and gente in Brazilian. Gelo. Gelo means ice. Same pronunciation in both the accents. Gelo. Then let's take a word. Gerar. Commonly used verb in the corporate. Gerar is to generate. Okay, very common word. Gentiu.
I have a question. Is
Yes.
it sound as Zerar or Jerar?
J, not Z.
J.
J. Yes.
Okay.
Simply हिंदी का जो ज है वही है ये. So next word is, this will be pronounced very different in European and Brazilian. In European, we'll call it gentil. Gentil. In Brazilian, it is gentil or gentil. Both the sounds are correct, okay? Gentil or gentil. So once again, in European, we will call this gentil, just like it is written, gentil. Whereas in Brazilian, there comes two exceptions. The letter L at the end, we don't pronounce it. We give it a sound of kind of U. So we say gentil, gentil. So sometimes we will pronounce the TI as chi, and in some areas they don't pronounce it as chi, they'll pronounce it normally like T. So it depends from region to region. So we can either call it gentiu or gentiu. So this means kind. Let's look at words with GI. Okay, common words, giraffe. Can you guess the meaning of this? Giraffe.
Giraffe.
Ji-
Bottle.
No, that will be gahafa, which is GA. It gives the sound of G.
Hmm.
Let's take the word gymnasium. Gymnasium. Okay. Gymnasium. And let's say girar. Let's take a verb. Girar is turn, to turn, or even to spin. Girar. Then let's take Jiria, a very commonly used word. Jiria. Jiria means slang. So slang doesn't only mean like it might not be any abusive language, it's just a popular language. Okay. For example, uh, we say the word cool. Okay. For example, I want to agree with you, or I think something is beautiful. I say cool. So cool actually means cold, right? But we use it as a slang to say okay or to say that's great. Okay. So that is a slang. That is called Jiria. Jiria. So these are the words with GE or GI, which will give a sound of J. Let's look at some words with GA, GO, and GU. GA. Can you give me any word with GA that you already know?
Gahafa.
Gahafa, yes. What else? I want everybody to think. Gatu. Yes. More words. Anything else that you know? Okay. Common words. Gasoline. That is gas or fuel. When you will go to your, whatever country you're targeting, you might have to use this word. Okay. Then gastu, very commonly used word. Gastu means expense, your expenditure. Okay, gastu. Let's say gaiola. Gaiola means a cage. Then let's look at words with go. So go will give a sound of go. Like very common word, governo. What is the meaning of governo?
Government.
Yes.
Government.
Government. Mm, mm, mm. Common words like
Uh, I have a question. Is it
uh,
pronounced as Chayola?
just a second. Komal, please make a habit of raising your hand when you have a question. Just raise your
Sure.
hand. Yes, which one? That is Gaiola.
Chayola.
GA. No way that we can make it sound like J. It will always be G. No exceptions. Gaiola. Okay. So governo, gostar. Gostar is to like. Uh, Common words like gordo. Gordo means fat. Last word, gota. Gota means a drop, a drop of water, a drop of milk, whatever it is. Gota is a drop. Let's see words with GU. Let's take a verb. Guyar. Guyar is to guide. So see how I'm pronouncing this word. Our letter is U, right? Uje uvar. So some people tend to mispronounce it and say Gu, Guyar. It's not like nothing like that. Okay, Guyar, Guyar. More words. Mm, okay, very common word. Gitaha. So here we have a combination of GUI, JUE. This combination sounds like Gi, Gitaha, guitar. Geha. Geha means war. Now look at this combination. GUE sounds like gay. This one was gi. This one is gay. Gitaha. So you can see that the letter U is actually used as a combination to talk about give different sounds. Okay. Guardar. Guardar is to keep or to save. Guardar. So this one sounds like gi. This one sounds like gay. You have to remember these things. I'll quickly drop a screenshot in the group for this one. Okay, so let's move on to the next letter after C and G. Anybody has any questions till now? Anyone would like to ask anything, any confusions you have regarding any particular word or anything? Yes, Komal?
Here the pronunciation you have mentioned, it's like guitara, and the another one is Guiara, Guiara, right?
No, no, no.
But the pronunciation is
It's Geha or
is
Gera.
Gera.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gera. All right.
Any other words anyone would like to cross check or want me to repeat? Okay, if no questions, then we'll move on. So then we have the letter Aga, H. Okay. So as you can see, the name of the letter itself is Aga. It doesn't have any sound of its own. So firstly, if it comes in the beginning of the word itself, then we have already seen when it comes at the beginning, what do we do with it? If it is the first letter of the word. How do you pronounce it? Yes, Ashish?
It's silent, ma'am.
Silent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It actually, we start the word from the next letter. We don't consider it at all. Okay. Just like we read the example of hospital or hospital. Similarly, words like aura. Okay. Aura. Here we don't pronounce the letter H. So these kind of words like oj. Oj means today. Aura means hour. So these kind of words where letter H is the first letter of the word, Aga is the first letter of the word, then we don't pronounce the letter at all. And we tend to start or begin the word from the next letter. Let's see some more examples. Common words like Omen. Omen means man. Similarly, Umanu. Umanu means human. Then Otel or Oteu. Otel or Oteu means
Hotel.
hotel. Yes. So I'll not write the meaning. It is the same word. Okay. Okay. Very important word. Hinu, or sorry, it's called Inu. Okay. Now Inu is an anthem. So you often use the word like Inu Nacional, national anthem. Very important word. Okay. When you go for any matches like World Cups and everything, so there's a lot of talk around the national anthem. That is Inu Nacional. So I think that is enough examples. So first rule is that when the word begins with the letter Aga itself, then we don't pronounce it. We start the pronunciation from the second letter of the word. Let's move on. Second rule says, now all the three rules, rest of the three rules talk about combination. Different combination of the letter H with different letters. So when it comes with the letter C, if the letter Aga comes with the letter Se, then we give it a sound of sh. Sh. Very soft S. Sh. For example, you can see this word. Can you read the example, anyone?
Shave.
Shavi. Yes.
Shave.
Shavi. Yes. So in European, we'll say shav. That's it. We'll not say shave or shavi. No. In European, we will finish the word very quickly. We'll say shav. And in Brazilian, we will say chave. Chave. We'll extend it a little bit at the end. Let's see more words. Common words. The word chave means key. Then we have this word chão. Chão means floor. So CH gives a sound of sh. We read the example chave, chão. Chave is key. Chão means floor. So we have more examples. Let's see a verb. Chegar. Chegar is to reach, to arrive. Chegar. Then an adjective. Cheio. Cheio means full. Then let's say very common verb. Chamar. Chamar is to call. So all these words you can see the sound is sh. Okay. We'll always say sh when we have a ch. Yes, Komal?
So this sound as sheo.
Cheio.
Sheo.
Yes. Because in Portuguese we will pronounce all the vowels. So we cannot even skip the I in between. She, I, U. That is why it's cheio. Okay, let's move on to the next combination. That is the combination of LH. So wherever we have the combination of LH, the sound is lia, adha la, adha ya. So the examples we have here, like the word melhor. So it will be pronounced like this, melhor. Melhor. Then olhar, lia. Okay, just like we have learned olho, oje, olho. So here the LH is sound as adhala, adhaya, olho. So let's see some examples with LH. So we saw melhor. Melhor means better. Olhar is a verb. Olhar means to look. Let's look at some other words. For example, very common word, mulher. Mulher means woman. These two words are very similar and many students tend to confuse them. Melhor. Melhor. This is an adjective which means better. And this one is mulher. Mulher means woman. Okay, let's take common words like trabalho. Trabalho is work, or you can say job. Basically work only, but we can use it for job also. Trabalho. Olho we already know. Olho means eye. Common examples like velho. Velho means old. So the sound of LH in हिंदी में हम इसे आधा ल आधा य पढ़ेंगे. ल्य. Okay, last one of the H. When we have a combination of NH. When we have a combination of NH, then it gives a nasal sound. हिंदी में हम इसे ऐसे लिख सकते हैं आधा ना आधा य, but it is more of a sound of y. Okay. So some people pronounce it as nya, some people will say ya, and both are correct. So for example, we have the word banyar. Banyar means to take a bath. Banyar. It's a verb to take a bath. So we will read it like this. Banyar. or some people will say banhar, banhar. So initially we can just learn as banhar, but later on we have to develop this into more of an advanced accent. That is banhar, banhar. So this word here is amanhã, amanhã. Amanhã means tomorrow. So we have two examples here, amanhã, tomorrow, and banhar, to take a bath. Let's look at more examples. Okay, for example, very common word, minha. Minha means my. Common word, senha. Senha means password. Vinho. Those who are going to Portugal, Portugal is extremely famous all over the world for its wine. Wine is called vinho. Then caminho. Caminho is a path or a way, rasta. Caminho. Sonho. Sonho means dream. So you can see it's a very common kind of combination that you can see in a lot of words, even for the very basic vocabulary. Okay. So the letter H, we read the 4 rules of letter H. We started where the letter H is the first letter. In that case, we will not pronounce it at all. And we will start the pronunciation from the second letter of the word. Then we saw in the second rule that when we have the combination of se, e, aga, C and H, se, e, aga. So in that case, the pronunciation will be sh, shalgam wala sh, very soft, sh, like shav. Then we saw letter H with a combination of L. When we have LH, then the sound is ly, like melior or liar. Then we saw the letter H combined with N. Whenever we have NH together, then the sound is nya or yon. So we saw some examples, amanhã, banhar. Ok, então, próxima letra é L, ou L. Okay. A regra, regra means rule. Okay. So when I'm saying the rule, I'll say a regra. You can note down these little words that you come across in the class. Okay. Então, a regra para a letra L. The rule for the letter L or L. When L comes at the end of any word, it is pronounced as a W or as a U. Okay. And this is only for Brazilian Portuguese. Somente para o português brasileiro. Não é para português europeu. It's not for European Portuguese. This rule exists only for Brazilian Portuguese. When the letter L comes at the end of the word, then it is pronounced like a W or a U. Vamos ver alguns exemplos. Por exemplo, for example. So, for example, we say por exemplo. Por exemplo. Okay. Por exemplo, a palavra hospital. So, in Brazilian, we don't say hospital, like the actual sound of the letter L. We don't pronounce it. We say hospital. So, this actually becomes hospital, like this. Então, papel. Okay. So, this becomes like papel. Papel. Okay. O nome do país, the name of the country Brazil. The Brazilian people will never say Brazil. They'll say Brazil. So Brazil becomes Brazil. Now be careful that in English we write the spelling like this with a Z. But in Portuguese it is actually an S. So whenever you are using the name of the country in the Portuguese language, remember that you will not use a Z. You will use an S. but the sound remains like a Z. The sound is not Brazil, it's Brazil. Okay. Brazil. So the sound of this S is like a Z only. For that also we have rules, we'll come to that later. But as of now, we are looking at words ending in the letter L. So you can see all these words in front of us. Hospital, papel, Brasil. Then we have this word in example, that is legal, legal. This word legal can have different meanings. Okay. So legal, it can mean legal, just like the English word. It can mean beautiful. It is used as a slang, as a in the popular language. It is also used to say okay, to agree with something. Legal. Okay. For example, if I ask you, can you take the class at 8 p.m.? Then you say like, it sounds okay. So you say legal, legal. Okay. So it has three meanings. It can be legal in the proper legal terms, and then it can mean beautiful, or it can mean okay, to agree with something. So all these meanings are attached to the same word. Now this rule that we are doing right now, please remember that this is only exclusively for Brazilian Portuguese. Because in European, if we have the letter L at the end of the word, then it will be pronounced as a law. So all these words, let's see how do we pronounce this differently in European and in Brazilian. So in Brazilian, this word will be called as hospital, hospital. But in European, it will be called as hospital, hospital. Próximo, next, papel, papel. Okay, so the end sounds like a U in Brazilian. But in European, this is papel, papel. Then we have Brazil, Brazil. That's in Brazilian Portuguese. Whereas in European, we say Brazil, Brazil. Lastly, this one is legal, legal in Brazilian. But in European, it is legal, legal. So is this rule clear to everyone? Claro? Can you give me a thumbs up? Ótimo. Vamos proceder. Let's proceed. Yes, somebody has a question. Rashmi, yes.
Ma'am, can you please once again spell the word rule?
Which one?
Rule, the rule.
Rule. Yes. This one is called regra.
Okay.
Regra. Okay, because it's starting with the letter R. That's why the sound is like a h. Regra. Okay. Vamos proceder. So I'm saying vamos proceder. Let's proceed. Excuse me. So these kind of vocabulary you should be keep, you should keep noting them in your separate notebook where you're maintaining the vocab. Okay. These kind of words or phrases, whatever we are using in the class, these will definitely be the words that you will be using in your daily life when you are communicating with your people from Brazil or from Portugal. So we will be using this a lot. So make sure that you note them down. Vamos proceder. Let's proceed. Or we can simply say vamos. Vamos also means let's move on. Vamos. Let's go. Okay. A letra M or M. Now this rule, whatever we are going to read now, this rule applies to both European and Brazilian. No matter which branch of Portuguese you are focusing on, the rule of this letter M, it applies to all the branches. The rule says when M comes at the end of any word, it gives a nasal sound. And this is universal rule. It applies to everything in Portuguese. For example, we learned the word homem. So you can see there's an M at the end, but we don't say homem. That means we're not giving the letter M its own sound. We're rather giving a nasal sound to it. So the first M in the same word, the first M, it has the sound of ma. Omei. Omei. So the first M has the sound of M, whereas the last M is a nasal sound. We don't give any sound to that. It's a nasal sound. Okay. Omei. Then the examples given here, like the word bon. Okay. So we are tempted to read this word like bomb, but it's not bomb, it's bon. So the mouth remains open. We don't close our mouth to say ma at the end. It remains open and it gives a nasal sound, which we call an open nasal sound. Open nasal sound. That means we don't close our mouth at the end of the word. So we say bon, bon. Bon means good. Bon. Then this word bai, bai. Bai also means good. Okay, bai. Then we have seeing, seeing. Seeing means yes. We have already learned this before. Seeing. Okay. So like this, there are a lot of words, and we need to practice this one. So I'll give you more examples. Just a second. Let's see more examples of words ending in M, and let's explore the different sounds. Okay. For example, algum. In this, we don't say algum, we say algum. It's like a sound at the end. Okay. Algum. Algum means some. Similarly, we have u. U means one. Okay. U, the number one. Then we have words like jardim, jardim, garden, jardim. So I'm not saying jardim, I'm saying jardim, nasal sound, like a e at the end. Jardim. Viagem, viagem. So it's like an a at the end. Viagem. This means a trip. Viagem. So let us look at this word I, this combination em. We'll call this aim. Many people or new beginners make this mistake of saying this as M. This is not M. This is I. Nasal sound. I. Can you repeat this letter for me? I.
Ang.
Yes.
A.
Yes.
A.
Yes.
Ay.
A.
Right.
And
Exactly. All of you got it correct. That's great. Okay. Now, if you can make this sound, then you can make a lot of sounds in Portuguese. So, a is also a word. Okay. It's a preposition. A is a preposition which can mean in or on or even at sometimes. It's an actual word in Portuguese. Now, with this word, we will make many similar words. Like if I say the word bem, bem means good. We just saw it. So, same pronunciation. If we can pronounce this a, then this is also same bem. Okay. Then let's say nem. Nem. Nem means neither. Nem. Then sem. Sem. Sem means without. Then we have bigger words like this one we read viagem. Viagem. Trip. Okay. Then words like mensagem. Mensagem means message. It can be a text message or any kind of message that you send. Mensagem. Mensagem. So this is a very important sound in Portuguese. So I'll just repeat all of these words. First word we read is em. Just like we have this word, right? Homem. Homem. Em, bem, nem, sem, mensagem. So you need to remember all these sounds and you need to practice them. Okay, whenever you are doing your revision, you need to practice all these words. I'll just drop a quick screenshot. Yeah, anybody's asking something? Okay.
So is this one clear to everyone that whenever we have an M at the end, then we'll not give it a sound of ma, rather we'll give a nasal sound. If it is clear to everyone, please give me a thumbs up. Ótimo.
Yes.
Okay. Ok. Let's move on. Vamos proceder para a próxima letra. Next letter. Okay. So what I said is próxima. I'll write the word for you. Próxima. Próxima means next. Okay. Then the word palavra. Palavra means word. Okay. Or I'm saying letra. Letra means letter. Not चिट्ठी वाला letter नहीं, alphabet वाले letter. Okay. Letter as in alphabet. And there's another word for चिट्ठी. उसे कहते हैं कार्ता. Karta is the letter that you write to each other. Karta. So whenever I'm mentioning these extra words, please make sure that you're very proactive and you write it down immediately. Okay. So we learned próxima. Próxima means next. Palavra means word. Letra means letter. And carta is an actual letter, a letter that you write to your friend. It's also letter. Carta. Okay. Coming to the letter R, a letra R ou R. Em português brasileiro, R. Em português europeu, European Portuguese. Em português europeu, R. Então, quais são as regras para a letra R ou letra R? Primeiro, when the letter R comes in the beginning of the word, it takes on the pronunciation of the letter H. So it's not exactly the letter H in English. It is just there to give you a kind of a heads up for how the pronunciation goes. But we have already practiced this pronunciation. It's like a ha, ha. It comes from the depth of your throat. Ha. So not exactly ha, it's ha. It has more depth, it has more gravity. Ha. So these words are homa, homa, and responsável. Roma is the city of Rome. Rome in Portuguese is known as Roma. Roma. And this one is responsável. Responsável. Now this first rule remains the same for Brazilian and European. Whichever branch we are following, for both the branches, if the word is beginning with the letter R itself, then R will never be pronounced as R. It is always H. Roma, responsável. Let's see more words like we read rosa, rose, rato. Rato means rat. Okay. Rápido. Wait, it's an accent. Just a second. Rápido. It has an accent. Rápido means fast. Then words like rapaz. Rapaz means a boy. So all these words beginning with the letter R, all of them have this sound of ha in the beginning. Yes, somebody has a question?
Yes.
Yes.
The word you said it has an accent. Hafido or something.
Rápido. Yes.
Hafido.
Rápido. Pa.
Okay, hafido.
No, you're saying fa, I am saying pa. Rápido.
Hafido.
Papa wala pa. Okay.
Okay.
Rápido. Yes. This one. Rápido.
All right.
Now why do we have the accent, or what do I have to do if I have an accent? Then I will extend this sound. If I didn't have the accent here, I would say rápido. But since I have the accent, I will have to say rápido. There's a little extension than normal. Okay, it's little more stressed than normal. So rápido. So these are the words that begin with the letter R, and in all these words, the sound will be ha, coming from your throat, coming from the depth of your throat. Okay. So I want to hear this from everyone. Hatu. Can you tell me hatu?
Hatu.
Yes.
Hard to.
Yes. Right.
Hatu.
It's not exactly ha, it's ha. Hatu.
Hard.
Khatu.
No.
Khatu.
No. You all are going to kh. It's not kh also. ठीक है, ख तक नहीं पहुंचना है आपको, उससे पहले रुक जाना. It's hatu. Hatu.
Hatu.
Try. Yes, Rajiv. Correct. Manpreet, try again.
Hatu.
Yes, better. Others?
Hatu.
Yeah. Right. Yes, Gopish. Yes, right.
Khatu.
Yes. Perfect. Rashmi, can you please repeat that?
Sure. Khatu.
No, it's not kha. It's ha. Hatu.
Kha. Khatu.
No, you're still saying kha. I am saying ha, but it is coming from the depth of my throat. So it's hatu. Hatu.
Okay. Hatu.
Yes, better.
Okay.
Since this is not a common sound for us in English or in Hindi or whatever language you follow, that's why it's difficult to get it in one go. So you have to practice this. It's very important that you practice it. Okay. So this is hatu, hapidu, hapaj, like this. Ha. Okay. Next, there are two rules of the letter R back to back. In the first one, we see that if the letter R comes with any consonant, then it gives a very soft sound. Whereas if it comes between two vowels, then it gives a very strong sound. So let us explore these two rules. Okay. First, let's see when R comes with a consonant. For example, the word chronologica. Chronologica. So if you look at how we are pronouncing this, we are saying crow, crow. So I'm not saying chronologica. र का sound नहीं आ रहा है, इसमें र का sound आ रहा है. यानी since we know Hindi, it is very easy for us to understand. इसमें sound आ रहा है. In this one, the sound is like r. Whereas if it comes with vowels, if the letter R comes in between vowels, like this word, janeiro, janeiro, then the sound is kind of like this. It's a stronger R. Janeiro. This is R. In this one, it is coming after a consonant. It is coming immediately after C. C is a consonant. So the sound is very soft. Chronologica. Chronologica. So here the sound is like R. But here the letter R is coming between two vowels, I and O. So the sound is more strong. R. Janeiro. So let's see more words like this. For example, common words. First of all, you just read Brazil. We just read Brazil. So we don't say Brazil. It's Brazil. Brazil. Then, for example, children, okay, or a child is called criança. Criança. In plural, we say crianças. Okay, criança. It has an accent. You can see that this is CA. So the sound typically should be K. But we don't say crianca. We say criança because it is coming with the accent. Anybody remembers the name of this accent? The accent that comes under the letter C. Anybody remembers the name?
So.
No, it's not. Sidilia. Yes. The name of the accent is Sidilia. It gives the sound of so, that's correct. But the accent's name is Sidilia. It looks like a comma. Comes under the letter C. So this got Sidilia, accent to Sidilia. Okay, let's see more words. For example, frio. Frio means cold. Now you can see it is coming after the letter R is coming after the letter F, a consonant. So the sound is very soft. We will not say frio. It's not frio. It's frio. Frio. The R is very soft. Frio. For example, common words, grand or grande means big. It's an adjective. Big. Grand or grande. So we don't say grand, like, sorry, we don't say grand. It's not a R, it's a R. Grand. Grand or grande. So in European, we'll say grand. In Brazilian, we'll say grande. Next, let's see. Pronto. Pronto means ready. We will use this word in class also a lot of times. When, for example, I gave you some assignments of 5-10 minutes. And if I want to ask you, are you ready to speak? So I'll ask you pronto, ready, pronto. So that is pronto. This is also pr, not pr. Okay? Pr. So it's a soft sound. Pronto, pronto. So all these words you can see that the letter R is coming after a consonant. So here we are pronouncing the letter R as a very mild, as a very soft sound. But it becomes the opposite when R comes in between vowels. Okay. Like we have the words here, the word example, janeiro, janeiro. So in this example, we can see that the letter R is coming in between the letter I and O, both of which are vowels. So in that case, we will have to give it a strong sound, like a R, a tongue roll wala R. Okay. So let's see more examples like this. For example, karu, karu. Karu means expensive. It doesn't mean car, okay? It means expensive. Karu. Then let's say the preposition we use a lot, para. Okay? Para. Para means to or for. It's used as a preposition. Para. Comes between, the R is coming between two vowels, two R's. So it gives the sound of R. Pra. We mostly say, although the word is para, but the Brazilians or the Europeans, I mean the native speakers, mostly say pra. Okay? So when you will hear the natives, they will not say para, they'll say pra. But as of now, we have not used it at all, so let's not go into that. So this is para, which is a preposition. It means to or for. For example, era. Era means it was, kind of. Era. So there are not many words which where the R comes between two vowels, but wherever there is an R between two vowels, then the sound is R. Ye wala R. So it's a strong sound, or the tongue kind of rolls. Now one thing about this word karu. So karu means expensive. So what is the word for car in Portuguese? Anybody knows? How do you say
Carro.
car? Yes, carro. So what is the difference in the spelling of these two words?
Car has a double R. It
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So this is called karu. So in European, we might call it as karu, but mostly in Europe and in Brazil, both the countries, we generally call it kahu. Kahu. So that brings us to our next rule, our last rule of the letter R. There will be many scenarios in Portuguese where the letter R is repeated. So whenever we have a repetition of the letter R, then we give it a sound of H, just like we say in the beginning of the word. Just like we say rosa, homa, responsável. Similarly, if we have a double R at any point, then we will give the sound of H, like the word carro. Now, wherever you will note your word karu, in the same space, you should note your word of kahu as well. Okay. For example, more examples. Just a second. So we have kahu, we have erro. Erro means mistake, error. Very commonly used in workspace. Okay. Error or mistake. Erro. Okay. Then we read a word already. What is the word for dog?
Cachorro.
Cachorro.
Cachorro. Okay. Cachorro. Okay. Let's say common word sorriso. Sorriso means smile. Okay. Sorriso. Then let's do some verbs like correr. Correr means to run. Morrer means to die. Yes, somebody had a question?
Yes, smile is pronounced as sohisu.
Yes, sorriso.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, then talking about your career. Okay. Career in Portuguese is carreira. Carreira. Career. Then a very important word. What do you call this symbol in English?
At the rate.
At the rate. And this in Portuguese is called arroba. Arroba. So we don't say at the rate, we say arroba. So just like you practiced your names, you should also practice saying your email IDs. Okay. For example, my email ID would be adhikariraka@linguapol.com. So if I write it, I'll also tell you how to do this. So if I want to say my email ID to someone, then I will say Ade Amor, Dede Dedo, H de Hospital, I de Igreja, K de Kiwi, A de Amor, R de Rosa, I de Igreja, R de Rosa, A de Amor, K de Kiwi. Then like this I will continue and then I'll say arroba, then LENGUAPOL, ponto. This one will be called as ponto. Dot. Okay. What we say .com, this is called ponto. And this one will be pronounced as com. We don't say C-O-M-E, we say com. C-O-M, com. Okay. So this is how we say our email ID. We will say this part and then we'll say arroba. This is arroba. Then linguapol ponto com. So you should also practice saying your email IDs, especially people who are immediately going to start working in with clients with native people. You should have a good practice of this, how to pronounce your email ID using the Portuguese letters. Or if you have to explain them, then you should remember the words also. Not necessarily that every time you have to say आजे amor देज दे दूं, हमेशा ऐसे नहीं बोलना है आपको. But if it is required, if somebody is unable to understand what you said, if you have to explain it twice, then you will definitely need the words. So you should have a practice of that. Now let's come back to this. So this was our last rule of the letter R, which says that if the letter R is repeated in a word, then it will sound like ho. So as a conclusion, the first rule and the second rule, the sound is same. This one and this one, the sound is same. Okay. The sound is a combination of ha and kha, kind of. Whereas this one, the sound is ra, and third one, the sound is ra. That's it. If you can remember this like this, then you can remember the rules of the letter R. So first we read that if the letter R comes in the beginning itself, then it is ha. And similarly, if there is a double R anywhere, then it's again ha. Second rule says that if the letter R is coming after a consonant, then it is a soft R, like R. But if it is coming between two vowels, then it is a stronger R, like a R, like Janeiro. Janeiro. Okay. It's a stronger R. Okay. So the rules of the letter R is clear to everyone. Can I have a thumbs up? Yes, great. Okay, let's move on. How do we say let's move on in Portuguese?
Vamos.
Vamos. Yes.
Vamos.
Also, vamos proceder. Proceder is to proceed.
Proceder.
Yes. Okay. Then we have the letter S. So the general sound of S is so. So. But when it comes in between two vowels, then the sound becomes very strong and the sound becomes Z. Like we read the word Brazil. In this, you can see the letter S is coming between A and E. So it is not Brazil, it's Brazil. So be it in European or European Portuguese or Brazilian Portuguese, the same rule applies. If the letter S comes in between two vowels, then we'll have to give it a sound of Z, like a Z. Okay. So here these words, this will be read as casa. Okay. Casa. And the next one is mesa. So you can see that the letter S is in between two vowels, and that's why we are giving it a sound of Z. Let's do some more examples with this. So we also learned the word hosa. We don't say hosa, we say hosa. But whereas see, the normal sound of S is sa, like sapatu. We don't say zapatu. We say sapatu because here the word is beginning with the letter S. But only if the letter S comes in between two vowels. That is, firstly, it has to be in the middle of the word, then only it'll come between vowels. So there we will pronounce it as Z. So it can also be not the case sometimes. For example, if I write the word resposta, resposta. In this, you can see that there is S in the middle of the word, but it is not coming in between vowels. So I'll not say resposta. It's a normal sound of so. Resposta. Resposta means an answer or a response. Resposta. Okay. So here we are not following that sound of z. But in casa, mesa, rosa, in these we are following it. For example, famosa, famous, famosa. Okay. Similarly, coisa. Coisa means thing. Let's say paisagem. Paisagem. Paisagem means a landscape or a scenery. Paisagem. So in all these examples, we can see that the letter S is coming in between two vowels, and whenever this will be the case, then the S is equal to Z. The sound is of Z. Now there is another rule in this. I would like you to add the rule under the letter S. Another rule in this only is if the letter S comes at the end of the word. For example, if there is a word like falas, falas means you speak. Okay. Falas. So what am I doing to the S? What is changing here? I'm saying falas. Can you tell me what is changing here? Falas.
Ta is being pronounced as sha.
Sure. Yes, it's a very soft S. Okay. It's sure. So the normal sound of S is sa. But I'm not saying falas. I'm saying falash. Okay. Similarly, let's look at more words. Paish. Paish means parents. So I'm saying paish. I'm not saying pais. I'm saying paish. So this rule applies to both Brazilian and European, but it is mostly prevalent in the European Portuguese. Why I'm saying mostly in European? Because in Brazilian, some people will say pais, but some people can also say pais. Pais. They'll give the normal sound of S. So don't think that they're breaking any rule. It's just a pronunciation. Okay. Pais. And some people also say pais. But in Europe, everyone will say pais. Whenever we have S at the end of the word, then everyone will pronounce it as sure, as a soft S. Okay. Similarly, let's see more words like the word for two, Deutsch. Deutsch. Okay. Then mais. Mais means more. Then depois. Depois means after. Eh, Then we have the word for month. Month is called mês. It comes with an accent, mês. So we have many words like this, and especially it is important because wherever you make a plural of any word, for example, you learned the word casa and you want to make a plural of it. So this will become casas, casas. So what is happening here? The S that is coming in the middle of the word, it is coming in between two vowels. So our rule says it is z, whereas the last S is sh. So the sound is casas, casas. Okay. Similarly, measures. So whatever we say, whenever we make a plural, there is an S at the end. So in that case, the sound is sh. So this particular rule is very important. I'll set a screenshot of this. So S has two rules. This second rule is not mentioned in your book. Please note it down. Please make sure that you mention it in the book itself or wherever you note it. Should better be in the book. Okay. So the rule of S is clear to everyone. The two rules of the letter S. Ótimo. Ok. Vamos proceder para a próxima letra. Next letter, Z. So this letter Z again has the same rule as the letter S. So if the Z, the normal sound of Z is Z. Z. Okay. But when it comes at the end of the word, then it becomes J. Normal sound is Z. And the sound at the end of the word is J. J. J.
Year for YOLO.
No. It's not Y. It's J. J.
Z.
No. J. Your tongue is partially touching the top of your mouth. Okay?
Z.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
J. Only when it comes at the end of the word. Like we have the example faz. Faz means you do or he does, like that. To do basically. Faz. Then these, like you tell. These. Okay. So there are some words like this where the Z, letter Z will come at the end of the word. and there you will pronounce the Z as a softer Z, like a J. Okay. But normal words, like you can see here, we have the word trazer. So Z is coming here in the middle of the word. So it has the default sound of the letter Z, trazer, Z. But in the words where it is ending with the letter Z itself, then we have J, soft sound. This is clear to everyone? Okay. Let's move on to the last rule, which applies to only Brazilian Portuguese, only Brazilian, and this makes a huge difference. So all the difference in the pronunciation of Brazilian and European, the major difference is caused by this combination, that is DE and TE. This combination works the major difference between Brazilian and European. For example, before we study the rule, let's just understand in a very layman language. If I write this word, this is cidade in European, it will be read just like it is written. ठीक जैसा लिखा है वैसा ही पढ़ेंगे इसको. Cidade. Can you tell me the Brazilian sound of this word?
Sidaji.
Exactly.
Siddharth.
Exatamente. Sim, sim. É isso. Okay. Cidade. So in European it is cidade, whereas in Brazilian it is cidade. Cidade. It's like a G. Okay. Cidade. The same thing goes for the word, for example, let's say this word also is, we are already familiar with this. So in European, we'll call it as
Yeah.
gent. Yes. And in Brazilian,
Zenchi.
gente. So in European, it is gent. In Brazilian, it is gente. So we can see that the combination of TE and DE, when it comes at the end of the word, this part is very important. Only when it comes at the end of the word, not in the beginning, not in the middle of the word. Only when it comes at the end of the word, then it changes its sound to chi and g. For TE, we give it a sound of chi, and for DE, we give it a sound of g. So we have some examples in the book itself. Denchi. Now see, this word is beginning with DE, but will not give it a sound of G, because in the beginning it doesn't matter to us. In the beginning, it will be pronounced just like it is written. They will not say G for this. So this is clear to everyone that it only has to be in the at the end of the word. First, give me a thumbs up for that. Okay. So you have to be very clear on this, that it has to be only at the end of the word, then only this rule will apply. So this is called denchi. Denchi. Anyone knows the meaning of this? Denchi?
Teeth.
Teeth. Yes. Denchi. Then we have sorvete. Sorvete. How would you read the same word in European?
Sorvete.
Sorvete. Yes. Whereas in Brazilian, it is sorvete. Sorvete is ice cream. Okay? Sorvete or sorvete. Next word in European, it is gente, whereas in Brazilian, it is gente. People. Then we have esport or esporte. In Brazilian, it is esporte, which means sports. Okay, esporte, sport, esporte. Okay, then examples for words ending with de. Let's look at the second line. Saudade. Saudade. Saudade means health. Saudade. Idade. Idade means age. Idade. age. Cidade. What is the meaning of cidade?
City.
Yes, city. Okay. Cidade. Felicidade. Felicidade literally means happiness, but we also say felicidade to say congratulations. We say felicidades. Okay. Congratulations. When we want to congratulate someone, we use the phrase felicidades. So all these words you can see that they are ending with DE, but the sound is G. So this strikes a major difference between European and Brazilian, because when you are saying individual words like this, then it is easy to understand and differentiate. But when you hear a complete paragraph, then there will be a lot of words which will be different in European and Brazilian, and this combination consists of almost 70% of all the different sounds between European and Brazilian. Now we have a similar combination which is not there in your book, so I would like you to add this. We have a similar combination that is called the TI and the DI. The combination of TI and DI. Now in this case, it does not have to come at the end of the word. Even if it comes, so it can come anywhere. Okay. So wherever in the word it comes, it will give a sound of chi and g. Let's see some examples. For example, this word is tio, means uncle. So can you tell me how do you pronounce it in Brazilian?
Tio.
Tio. Okay.
Tio.
It becomes tio.
Tio.
Yes.
Tio.
For example, we say the word ótimo. Ótimo in European, but in Brazilian it becomes ótimo. Ótimo. Okay. Then words like sentir. Sentir means to feel. In Brazilian, you will say like, how will you say this in Brazilian?
Sentir.
Sentir. Yes, sentir. Okay. Then this word último. This is actually último in European, but in Brazilian it will sound like último, means last.
Ultimate.
Último. So see, it doesn't matter if it is in the beginning of the word or if it is in the middle of the word. It will never come at the end of the word, that is for sure. No word actually ends with ti. If it is there, but it will be very rare. Okay. So we don't have to worry about that. Wherever it comes, be it in the middle of the word, the beginning of the word, end of the word, it doesn't matter. The position is irrelevant here. Wherever it comes, if it is a ti, then it will be pronounced as chi. Now this again is not compulsory. ऐसा नहीं है कि सारे के सारे Brazilians, all the Brazilians will pronounce in this way. But mostly, majority of Brazil will speak in this way, where the TI will be pronounced as chi, no matter where it comes. And same thing goes for DI. So for example, the word dia means day. In Brazilian, it becomes dia. Dia. Similarly, dizer. Dizer means to tell. In Brazilian, it becomes dizer. Dizer. Then there is a verb called decidir. Decidir means to decide. I want someone to pronounce this. How would you pronounce this word in Brazilian?
Decidir.
Decidir.
Yes,
Decidir.
correct. Decidir. So remember that the first DE will not change. Okay, because it is coming at the beginning and it is DE, not DI. So it will remain as de. Desi jeer. Desi jeer. So this is different in European. How do you pronounce it in Brazilian?
Differentiate.
Yes, perfect. Differente. Differente. Or if I want to sound this one as well, di as g.
Differenti.
Differente. Yes, it's very common word. Okay, differente.
Different.
Different. Okay, so these were some of the examples. Now today I will not move on from this. In the next class we will do accents and stress pattern. But as of now, I just want you to remember and revise all the rules that we have done till now.